now convene the July 11, 2023 City of Daytona Beach Special Magistrate proceeding. At the outset, I've reviewed the minutes of our June 13, 2023 meeting, approved them, and executed them. Do we have any announcements before I proceed with this morning's agenda?
Yes, sir. Starting on page 2. Case number 2, SMG 07-23-169, 120 Marion Street, 530 Foot Court, is in compliance 7/10/23. Case number 4, SMG 07-23-174, 442 Zelda Boulevard, is in compliance 7/5/23. Page number 3, case number 5, SMG 07-23-181, 307 North Caroline Street, compliance 7/5/23. Page number 10, case number 33, SMG 06-23-161, 3011 Stanford Avenue, compliance 6/30/23. Page number 13, case number 44, SMG 05-23-134, 18 North Ridgewood Avenue, compliance 7/10/23. And I believe that's it. That's all.
Which one, I'm sorry, on that last one, say it again. Which number was that?
Case number 44,
Okay, thank you.
05-23-134.
All right, will all those representatives for the City of Daytona Beach who will be testifying at this morning's proceedings please stand and be sworn?
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide to the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay, there are a number of cases that I need to attend to out of order. Case number 21, Indigo Lakes Golf Club LP. I think you just turned it on. See to it that everyone's sworn, if you would.
Can you let them get to the mic? Say their name. State your name for the record.
Carol Raymond.
Ellen Bellis.
Ed Peterson.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide to the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, I owe you folks an apology because I have not gotten to this matter yet. I've spoken with the city attorney. I'm going to make a decision on this sometime this week. When we were here last, we gave all of you an opportunity to present an additional summary. I'm told we haven't received any such summary. I'm not here to criticize you, I'm just here to tell you that if you want to do it, you've got until Friday to do it, because then I'll be making a decision next week. So if either of you have anything left you want me to take into consideration before I make my decision, you've got until Friday to get it to the city attorney, and the beginning of next week, I'll make a decision. Very good?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm very happy with the information that we presented as being totally covered
That's fine.
in terms of summary. I would like to ask if anybody has looked to see if the newest information that Mr. Peterson has provided is actually recorded in the courthouse.
Okay, well, I don't know the answer to that right now, but now that you've mentioned it, I guess we'll take a look at it.
Okay, I would appreciate that very, very much.
All right. In any event, I'm going to allow him till Friday to supplement anything he wants You want to change your mind, by all means do so. Next week, I'll be looking at this and issuing a decision.
Thank
Your
you,
Honor.
sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, case number 29. ESH Daytona Beach LLC. And who do we have here on behalf of the respondent?
Yes, Brandon Byers for ESH Daytona.
Okay, and is this gentleman going to be speaking?
I'm Ryan Solo. I'm with the ESH Daytona Beach.
Okay. I think you have one witness and one attorney, if I'm not mistaken. If you're going to be speaking, you'll have to be sworn.
What's your last name?
Solo, S-O-L-O-W.
S-L-O,
S-O-L-O-W.
first name? Ryan. Okay. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
All right, it's my understanding we're here for a progress report and to determine a compliance date. Who do we want to start with?
I'll go ahead. Since the last hearing, they've continued to make progress and have contact. I would like to recommend that we set a compliance date for the October hearing when they should be done.
Cut off, the October cutoff
Yes,
for compliance.
yes.
It's actually not our property, but
We're in agreement.
Okay, that's not your property?
No,
Talking about the photo, it's not the property.
no.
All right, let's back up. I'm sorry, I was mystified by the photograph. Could you repeat that, please?
We've had contact and progress, and I would like to set a compliance date for the October hearing.
Okay, that would mean a compliance date of October 4, AKA 10/4. What say the respondent?
No objection, that is fine, thank you.
All right, based upon the stipulation of the parties, I'm going to go ahead and order the respondent to come into compliance by October 4, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. All right, case number 36. Blue Daytona 1 LLC. This matter is here for the imposition of a fine. That being the case, let's hear from the city.
This case is now in compliance as of today.
Okay, what say the respondent?
Yes, we were just waiting on a final inspection. I wasn't aware that it's complete, but if it is, then yes, we're in compliance.
All right, let's back up and say that all over again. He said it's not in compliance.
I said,
So he said, he announced it in compliance.
I said it
Pardon?
is.
Bring the mic.
I said it is in compliance.
My apologies,
worries.
I'm sorry. Okay, it is in compliance.
Yes, sir.
All right, guess you don't have a problem with that.
No, it's fine.
All right, then, based upon our inspector's report, I will find the matter to be in compliance. Case number 40. SIG Global FLP. Anyone here for the, well, we have a respondent, of course. All right, continued from the June hearing, determination of a compliance date. Let's hear from our inspector first.
Based on our information that we've received, there has been no progress from the city's perspective. And in regards to these three facilities with the retaining wall, from the city's perspective, no permits have been pulled, nothing has been done from, to secure the wall. At this point, we've simply been hearing from the attorneys and the parties that they are waiting to have the neighbors help with the payment of the wall. It's worth noting that this case has been open for over a year, and we're simply asking for repair or remove. As you can see, the wall is dilapidated as it is. If the parties that were interested in making repairs, they should have contacted the building department, but as of yet, nothing's been done, so.
What say the respondent?
Yes, from my understanding, at the last time we were here, I think a magistrate requested that we try to reach out to the neighbors and see if they would agree to a cost share. But we heard no response. We do have a proposal, however, to actually fix the retaining wall. And so we're just asking for 30 days to move forward with that proposal and start pulling the permit and fixing the wall.
What's going to happen in the next 30 days?
Well, we have a proposal, like I said, I think they probably need to make sure it's significantly less than what was estimated, so they probably need to finalize that contract and for the building permit.
Okay. Have the adjoining property owners agreed to the repair of the wall?
That I have no information on. We had essentially request if they were going to agree to the cost sharing. Unfortunately, I do not know if they are in agreement or not with the.
And what if they tell you no?
Well, looking at the survey, I'm not entirely sure that it's on their property. If they say no, I guess we're going to have to determine if the retaining wall can be built where it's located.
Okay, well, we're past that point. We're satisfied the retaining wall's on your property. I believe you've already got plans for it. It's going to be built, and the question now is when. And as far as the neighbors are concerned, I appreciate your efforts to try to accommodate them. And quite frankly, I almost feel a little bit sympathetic to your client because I think he's going above and beyond the call of duty to even contact the neighboring property owners, given the fact that they could be impacted by the repairs, and I understand that. All that having been said, it's time for the wall to be built.
Understood.
So, when's the wall going to be built?
Well, the information I've received is within 30 days, we would have finalized the proposal and I guess presumably submitted for the building permit
And how long is it gonna,
to construct the wall.
okay, what are the foreseeable milestones that you can think of if you're sitting here right now? Sounds like it's an application for a permit for
Correct.
starters. Sounds like it's the issuance of a permit.
Correct.
Okay, how long would you reasonably expect it take for the permit to be issued?
Can't imagine it taking that long if the plans have already been drawn and
Don't give me words, give me numbers. I relate to numbers. A week, a month, a year,
30 days.
30 days. And once you have your permit, how long do you think it'll take before you're building that wall?
60 to 90 days.
Okay. How long is this wall that you're talking about building? Do you know, do you recall the length of it?
No, I would have to look at the survey that they have there.
Okay, Mr. Inspector, how long should it take them to build this wall? What's your best guess?
See on my scope, but a guess would be 2 months, maybe 60 days, right?
Can you look at that survey and determine the length of the wall? I mean,
You can.
you're building a stem wall here, are you not?
Yes. I think the one that had the red,
Do you recall, is it equal to the depth of the property, or does the property line go beyond the building that I keep seeing?
I don't see it.
This survey is standing for the first home property that's on the corner there. It does not indicate the entire length of the wall. It's for that property only.
Okay, and we'll go back to the survey.
The other survey should show the entire length of the wall. There you
Do
go.
we know how many more homesteads this wall is going to pass by?
The wall affects about 4 properties.
4 parcels?
4 parcels, probably. Yes.
Which I would guesstimate would be a minimum of 50 feet in width.
That would be a
And I'm guessing your property is probably 100 feet in depth minimum, even though I can't tell. My point is, if you're building a 300-foot wall, I could understand the need for additional time. If you're not building a 300-foot wall, not so much. No matter. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order the respondent to return to next month's meeting, At that point, I'm hoping to establish a compliance date. I am expecting at a minimum by then that you will have submitted your application for a building permit. Maybe you'll even have it by then. In either event, if you can't tell me definitively how long it's going to take before this wall is built, then bring me all the details I need to know as far as start date, length of the wall, and what have you, so that we can try to take an educated stab at establishing a compliance date. But I want to see a permit at the next meeting, or at least want to know that the application for permit's been submitted and you're waiting on the city.
Understood.
Good enough?
Yep.
All right. Yes, sir.
For the record, this is for case SMG 022337, SMG 0423-105, and SMG 0423-106. Those, all three cases are the same.
So we're talking 40, 41, and 42.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then let me amend my previous order to make that a global order that will apply to cases 40, 41, and 42. I'm going to assume, Mr. Inspector, we're past the dead vegetation, the trash, the debris, and what have you?
We are.
Okay. All right, very good. Then with regard to cases 40, 41, and 42, I will continue the determination as to those items until our August 8, 2023 meeting, but I will require and at that point in time, I'll be looking for an update from the respondent, and I'm not going to order it, but I'll be expecting to see either a permit or at least a permit application that's out of your hands.
Understood.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, that will return us to our regular agenda. Okay, folks, cases 1 through 20 on our regular agenda are basically what I call first-timers. You're going to be asked if you agree that a violation existed as stated in the notice of violation that you were provided, and then we're going to talk about how much time you would reasonably require to come into compliance. I'm going to take a moment to explain that to you because my point is, think carefully about how much time you need to come into compliance because you want to try to take care of this sooner rather than later. We will take care of you. You will be on your way. The folks that are going to be here for the better part of the morning, perhaps 3 or 4 hours, are the return offenders, so to speak, who didn't come into compliance when they were supposed to. They're going to be sitting here all morning waiting for their cases to be called, and we might even ultimately be talking about the imposition of a fine. So I would urge all of you first appearance, so to speak, folks, we will try to accommodate you with regard to the time that you need to come into compliance. I would just urge you to give that some thought and do so. All right, case number 1, 410 Pleasant Street Trust, dated 2/21/2019. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Good morning, Mr. Bakelja. This case was brought to us by a citizen complaint, and it was for no rental license and overgrown grass. It was certified, receipt was signed, and it was received and signed on April 14, 2023. Compliance due date was April 24, 2023. And I visited the site last on June 28, 2023. No contact with the owner, and the property remains in noncompliance for next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order how much time to come into compliance?
Next cutoff, sir.
And I would order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 3, Herbert S.B. and Lauren Kawesh. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
He should be on Zoom.
I think that was a Zoomer. Okay.
Are you Mr. Kawesh?
I am, sir.
All right, if you would, please talk to our secretary, who's going to swear you in and take your name.
State your name for the record.
Herbert Cowish.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Cowish, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
By the next compliance.
The inspector seems to think you ought to have this straightened out by August 2. What say you to that?
Okay, I just want to make sure the only issue is that there was a junk vehicle in that yard?
Is that all that remains? It
That's
says
correct.
outside storage and junk vehicle.
The outside storage has been addressed, and the only thing left was a junk vehicle.
The answer to your question is yes.
Okay, that has been towed already last night. So if the inspector, I don't know if he could just, on my say-so, go back out and take a look. We should be in compliance as of this morning, sir.
Very good. He's here. He's aware of that. I'm sure he'll take care of it. So let me finish my business. I will, having found the respondent in noncompliance, I will order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. All right, I assume you're done, but it wouldn't hurt to check with the inspector somewhere down the road.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck to you. Okay. Okay, case number 6, Atlantis of Daytona, LLC. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This is a field-generated case opened February 28th of 2023 for damaged trash containment structure, overgrown landscape, retainer wall with graffiti, trash and debris, missing soffit, damaged signs, and extension cord as permanent wiring. At this point, the city would request a finding of noncompliance with the compliance of the extension cord removal within 5 days, and compliance for the balance within the next 30 days to the next cutoff.
Okay, what property is this?
This is the Atlantis on North Atlantic.
Is this our infamous old Red Lobster site?
No, this has the Atlantis on it. The Red Lobster property is vacant.
I don't know what the Atlantis is.
It is 2 properties south of McDonald's on North Atlantic, and McDonald's is the last property at the city limits, north city limits line.
And you have service on this?
This, I have not found a grade on the cable. The cable stretches about 150 feet from that point.
I mean service, as in service of process on this respondent.
Yes,
Have been served.
So we have a commercial property owner on A1A, and they're aware of this?
yes.
And why aren't they doing anything?
Well, it is supposed to be done within the next 48 hours based upon the property owner's response to my contact 2 days ago.
Who's the property owner?
Pinchas Manami.
Maname.
Ma'am, yes.
Doesn't he have other things on our agenda today?
Yes, he does. A number of them are in compliance, but the back wall's been painted, the overhangs have been repaired.
Are we
The
talking
only
about
thing-
this property now?
Yes,
So he's done something.
yes, he has. The signs and this cable are the last two things. And that sign at the very kind of 15
What's
feet
he
up.
supposed to be doing with the sign?
Well, it's been open for a long time, at least since the last hurricane.
What's been open?
The sign itself, that is,
Okay, is there a business there?
yes,
Sounds like he needs a better sign.
he does.
Okay, all right. Noting the absence of the respondent based upon the testimony of our inspector, I find the respondent in non-compliance. What is it you were proposing in the way of compliance?
A minimum of 5 days to remove that cable, or a fine of $200 a day.
And what's the rush on the cable?
Well, it is a comm line that is not graded above ground for about 150 feet. It goes up underneath the retainer wall, up the telephone pole, and is attached to the comm line at that box up there on the top.
So it's a life safety issue.
Yes,
Okay, I understand that. All right, so you're wanting, all right, we'll figure that out in a second. And you're wanting everything else done by the cutoff.
correct. Thank you.
Okay, so what am I ordering the respondent to do within 5 days?
Remove, bury, or lift it up to the normal height of a power line into the structure within 5 days. He has been in contact with Comcast, I believe it is, or Spectrum, I'm not sure which one, but he said he will get it done, but the reason I'm going to this point is because I haven't had him respond to this at all for a long time.
So we want him to remove, bury, or what? Reconnect or reattach this cable?
Yes, to code to like a normal one, which usually follows the power lines over to the house, or the building and comes down.
Within 5 days?
Correct.
Okay, Mr. Attorney, can I impose a fine at this point if he fails to do that?
The fine would be, yes.
Or do I have to wait to find out if he's in violate? Well,
Oh, right, you mean an auto
Here.
fine? No, you want to wait, so it'd be, you wouldn't be imposing a fine at this point, you'll be making the order at this point.
okay. All right. Then, based upon our inspector's recommendation and testimony, I will give the respondent 5 days in which to remove, bury, or properly reattach. What do you call this cable?
I think it is a comm line. It's coming from the lower lines or the power lines on the building,
Okay.
and I don't know what those boxes mean up on the wire.
Well, in any event, the cable that's very obviously laying on the ground,
Yes,
and I'm ordering the respondent to come into compliance with the balance of the violations by August 2, 2023. Failing to do either of those when he was supposed to, specifically including but not limited to the 5 days to fix that cable, the respondent will be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
thank you, sir.
Thank you. Five days from today.
Thank you.
5 calendar days. Versus 5 business days.
No, well, is the place open on the weekend?
Yes,
5 calendar days. Okay, we now have to go to case 28. Daytona Beach Resort LLC. I believe we have somebody attending by Zoom.
Can you hear me, sir?
Hello, if you would please state your name.
Good morning, sir. Brent Kimball, representing Daytona Beach Resort LLC.
All right. This matter is, okay, and I'm sorry.
Condominium Association.
Okay, are both of you attorneys?
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, this matter's been continued from the February hearing. We're here for a progress report and to determine a compliance date, and I also see that we're supposed to add an owner. So let me turn it over to our inspector and let him explain to me where we are.
Since the last hearing, we have had some progress and some contact. As you can see, the construction, it's sort of hard to see, but you can see the scaffolding out there. They had started construction on the balcony repair. They are still waiting on, I believe they're working on the VE engineering for the plans for the parking area. So given the progress, we would like to amend to the September cutoff for another report to see how far they've gotten.
And Mr. Kelge, if I may be heard, you may recall, this has kind of been hanging out here for a while. We were initially started with Attorney Kimball, and we determined later that there was the ownership of, I think it's the balconies, or the ownership of the association, and that's what brought on Ms. Wagner, I believe. And so the addition is that we added the association, and they were put noticed, I think some time ago, and if I realized that was Ms. Wagner, I would have mentioned that so she could have come forward earlier.
So are they already a party to this?
So I think we properly identified them as a party in the style here.
In February, we were added.
Okay. So do we need anything more from me in that regard?
In that regard, no, I don't believe so. I think it was announced then that they would be added at the
All
February
right, well, I
meeting.
guess our inspector has suggested a progress report in September. I think that's what I've heard. What say the respondents?
Well, sir, they stole my thunder. Everything that the folks here said is exactly what I was going to say. Progress has been made on those balconies. There has been work with the engineers, and there's been a slight delay with that, and September is what I was going to suggest.
Okay, and we're just talking another progress report in September.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Then, based upon the agreement of the parties, I will schedule this matter again for our September 12, 2023 meeting, at which point in time we will hear another progress report and perhaps discuss a potential compliance date.
Thank you very much.
Y'all.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Case number 7, A.R. Green Irrevocable Family Trust. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This is a field-generated case from March 1st, 2023. The city is it is violations of missing visible addresses, trash debris, landscape maintenance, and watercourse protection. Watercourse protection meaning a retention pond, basically, that's full of trash debris and overgrown. Staff are requesting a non-compliance with the compliance next cutoff.
Trying to figure out where this is.
That is directly next to the McDonald's north of town on the south side.
Poor McDonald's, are they now in the dingy part of town?
Well, no, that's not McDonald's. That's actually the family Dollar. And I use the McDonald's as an example for them because it looks like a lawn in their entire area of the retention pond. This one is just happened to be very unkept.
All right, noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in non-compliance. In order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case 8, Daytona Commons, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This was a field-generated case that started, Inspector Jean-Baptiste with the city. field-generated case that started on March 9th, 2023, with the following violations: failure to remove an inoperable vehicle, failure to repair damaged signs, failure to clean dirt and grime, failure to repair damaged concrete curbing. The mail was delivered, certified mail was delivered on March 18th, 2023, with a compliance date of April 18th, 2023. On May 23rd, 2023, I had a site meeting on property with the new property manager, and as you can see in the picture, as of July 7th last week, the city is not in compliance. As such, staff is requesting a finding of non-compliance, compliance by the next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 9, Daytona Center, LLC. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you would state your name and be sworn.
D. Etlinger.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Ettlinger, what is your affiliation with the respondent?
I'm the property manager.
Okay. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
I find the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for this respondent to come into compliance?
Next cutoff, please.
City suggesting you ought to have this done by August 2. What say you to that?
And the signs I'm not going to be able to have done by August 2nd.
Where do you stand on the signs? What have you done to date?
I have a contract with a local sign vendor. I spoke with him this morning. He said 30 to 45 days, and then also allowing for permitting. We decided we thought we should ask for 90 days to be
30 to 45 days to do what?
to complete the sign.
And install the sign?
Right, but he has to first he has to do a survey, then he has to get the permit.
Okay, then I will continue the determination of a compliance date to our August 8, 2023 meeting. And at that time, I will establish a compliance date. I am hoping by then you have done your surveys, applied for your permits, do as much as you humanly can on your side of the equation to get your permit so that your sign company can then give you a reasonable estimate as to when they expect to be done with the job. So I will hear this matter again on August 8th for a progress report and determination of a compliance date. And like I say, I'm hoping the respondent will use the time to do everything humanly possible on their side of the equation to get the job done. That's what I'll be looking to see.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next.
Case number 10, Daytona Center, LLC, 100 North Nova Road. Ms. Ettlinger again?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have Ms. Ettlinger appearing for the respondent. So let's hear from our do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
All right, I find the respondent in non-compliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
The next cutoff, please.
Again, the inspector is suggesting August 2. You ought to be able to have this taken care of. What say you to that?
The only thing on here, the remaining on here would be the signs. The soffit at Save-A-Lot was completed on Friday. The only thing left to be installed is the hatch, the door, and that's supposed to be done this week. The exterior wall holes, those have all been patched. And the stucco's been repaired, and we're getting ready to paint.
Worth noting that
Are you getting ready to tell me something's not going to be done by August 2?
Well, it would just be the damaged sign. This would only be the pylon sign,
Right.
correct? That one, he probably can get that finished. That one, that tenant has vacated, and the tenant next to him is it's a school, a church school, kind of like a seminary, I guess you'd call it. And they're moving into the next phase, and they're trying to see if they can use that sign. So I told him I would ask if we could have maybe 60 days for him to reach out and see if he can use, because it's a raceway, and he thinks, maybe he can use the raceway and not have to pay them money for the raceway.
Our contention is just that it needs to be repaired.
So if I remove the lettering and just leave the raceway, would that be okay?
No, you would
No,
have to.
okay, well, we'll just take it down then. He can get his own sign.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine,
So,
I'll have it
Hang on a
removed.
second. So, damaged ceiling tiles, we've got that under control.
That's done.
Damaged exterior walls, holes, we've got that under control.
Mm-hmm,
Dirt and grime, we've got that under control.
mm-hmm.
Now, you're trying to salvage your sign. Okay, I understand that. So you're telling me you have a neighboring tenant who may be,
Yeah.
what, leasing this
Yeah,
space?
it's not my
Understand
sign,
that.
it's the tenant's sign. so-
Okay, I understand that. But you may have a neighboring tenant that's gonna wanna use that sign. When will you know?
I gave him all of the information last week. I'll see him today. I can let him know how much time he has to reach
I don't
out.
like destroying property just for the sake of destroying property. If you've got a plan, if you and the neighboring tenant have a plan, I will hear you out. Otherwise, the sign's gone.
Right.
So, what do you wish to do with regard to your sign right now?
If I can have 30 days for him to find out if he can have it used him, or I'll just have it removed in 30 days.
Okay, everything else is in compliance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you 60 days to come into compliance.
Thank you.
That'll give you, we don't have any life safety issues involved
sir.
here, do we?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, that'll give you till September 6th of 2023. I assume that's all the time in the world you'll need to figure
Yes,
out
sir.
the fate of this poor sign.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Case number 11, J. Mack of Daytona Incorporated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. If you would state your name and be sworn.
Joseph Kmed.
I'm sorry, say your last name again?
Kmed, K-M-A-I-D.
I'm sorry.
K-M-A-I-D.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, then I will find the respondent in noncompliance.
I didn't get, and maybe you asked it, Mr. Comet's
Oh, I'm sorry.
relationship.
Oh.
Your affiliation, what is your affiliation with J. Mack of Daytona Incorporated?
I'm the owner of it.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, let's get back to this. Madam Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Okay, well, actually, I'd like to ask for a finding of noncompliance with a compliance date of today, July 11th, because the property is actually in compliance as of this morning. But just to ensure that it remains cleaned up because of the issues going on there, we'd like to ask for an order of noncompliance compliance.
Okay, do you have any objection to that?
I don't know, Your Honor, this area, there's a lot of people, they come and sleep every day behind this property. And they bring their furniture, actually, and they put them over there. And they leave them and they walk out. And I go over there every week and I clean it. It's always, I would like to put a fence and maybe I'll get done with it. I'm gonna ask some company to come and fence this area behind the building. So maybe I can get rid of this homeless people sleeping over there and put their stuff and leave. Just this corner on the back, you know, from Ridgewood Avenue, where is the storage unit with the boxes, the electric boxes, all the way around to the inside by the wall. I like to put a fence by the wall, if you see the wall.
Okay, so what's going on here? This guy's got homeless problems?
Right, there's just,
I mean, that junk doesn't look like it's his or his buildings.
right, that's correct. However, this case was opened in February and there was no contact, nothing was done until I went by there Friday and there were the beginnings of the trash and stuff being picked up, and then today it was completely So we just want to try to ensure that, you know, somebody is going by there on a regular basis to clean it up, since it is on a main thoroughfare of the city.
You understand?
I understand, Your Honor. I put a sign also, no trespassing. They break the
I
signs.
understand, and I understand you're in a tough part of town.
No,
You
I'm
gotta do what you gotta do.
on it, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, then based upon, the consent of the parties, then, I'm fine, I've already found the respondent to be in noncompliance. And based upon the testimony I've heard, then I will now find that the respondent is in compliance. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Case number 12. Xaverius Proprietates Agris LLC. I'm sure I owe multiple apologies for that one. Yes, folks, if you would please state your names and be sworn.
Javier Campos.
Barbara Campos.
I'm sorry, say your
Javier Campos.
Javier. Spell your last name,
Campos. Campos.
your first name?
Javier.
Barbara.
Barbara. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, folks, what's your affiliation with the limited liability company that's the respondent?
We are the owners.
Very good. Do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Actually, last night was my first time seeing the letter, so we watched it over here this morning. I wasn't aware of the situation. We did have, in the last year, in 2022, we have a similar situation that the license of the rental, for rental property, it was an issue. We addressed the issue. We have the license. I don't know why the inspector said there is no license. We have the copy of license. We came here to the building, and we went downstairs, and we spoke with the staff down there, and they told us everything was in compliance. We paid the license. Everything was good. We didn't know it was any issue at all until last night when I saw the letter, and then they mentioned something else about fencing, gates, and fencing, gates, and something else. What is
Deck.
fence and the deck? Yes. So when originally we purchased the house back in 22, it was a small deck, and we just enlarged it and make it bigger. And then the fence last year in the hurricane, a tree went down, knocked down the fence. Me and my neighbor put it back up. And then the gate, I assuming, is the same gate that goes with the fence because we don't have front gates in the house.
So you tell me you did your own repairs?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, is that a violation?
I see it a little bit differently. Okay, so in regards to the fence, there's a before picture. If you could go right there, there is actually no fence or gate.
No, that's
Okay.
a very old picture.
So that fence, that is, oh, I'm sorry, 2020, so
Exactly.
November of 2020. Also, as far as the rental license, there was an application put in, but there's been nothing done since then.
Well, I got.
And then this was also a complaint case that was put in January 12th. I've had no contact, and the complaint was regarding no permit for the fence, gate, and the deck.
The picture that she's talking about is from 2020. We purchased the property on 2022. When we purchased the property, the house doesn't look like that. You can see the difference between the paint and everything else. I didn't do that. I purchased the house like that. When we purchased the house, it was exactly the way you see on this picture. With the
That
little,
one right there.
Exactly, with the little gate and everything around.
And the fence.
Exactly. On the
That's the
hurricane
condition
time.
of the property when you bought it.
Exactly.
Who'd you
So-
buy it from?
No, I don't recall the name of the owners.
Third
but-
party?
A third party, yes.
Not a related company?
Oh, no,
entity,
no,
or
no, no,
affiliate
no,
of yours?
nothing like that. No.
Okay.
So we purchased the house just like the way you see it right there. We haven't done nothing. The only thing we did is in the hurricane time, the fence went down. That's what I thought it was this about. I didn't know it was about the other picture, because the other picture is the one that shows on the internet from the house from 2020. You see the date on the picture. So I thought they were talking about when we fixed the fence, but it was when the hurricane came, he tore it down,
Okay,
we put it
so are
back
you
up.
telling me you have a rental license for this property?
Yes, we have it right here. Well, we apply. I don't really understand too much about the
When
process.
did you apply?
That it was back in June. It was in May 26th of 2022.
Okay, and do you have a business tax receipt?
No, I don't really know what it is there, but
Well, to be
we
honest,
went
I
down
don't
there.
either, but the city does apparently.
Yeah, we went down there. We paid some fees. We asked.
Okay, is this a property that you rent or lease out?
Yes, it is a
So
property.
it's a rental property.
It's a rental property.
And we do know that you don't have a business tax receipt.
I find out that now that I don't know what's a business tax, because we went downstairs and we came last year and asked for the application. We filed the application, we paid the fee, and the lady downstairs told everything is okay, because we wanted to be on compliant. We didn't know, that it needed nothing else. And we assumed that that was it. And now when we get this, I see that it's more stuff that we really didn't.
I can say that that's not the process. So if only thing he did is filled out an application and picked it up, and that would not give him a rental license. It requires an inspection, and it's in the code, and apparently, at least that's not mentioned, and I don't know if that's the information that the inspector is going to present, but that would have been a necessary part. So apparently it was never final.
Okay,
Well, according with the paperwork from the city.
just a second.
Oh, okay.
I'm not interested in paperwork.
All right.
Okay, so it's y'all's contention, these folks did work on the property without a permit?
Correct.
Okay.
And Ms. Vikelj, if I
And
may
you got
say,
some basis for that? Because he's telling me when he bought the property, all the improvements you're complaining about were there already. Is that what I heard you say?
The fence. We're talking about the fence specifically.
Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city. Ms. Vikelj, the thing with permitting is permitting requirement or permitting defects stay with the land. So just because he purchased it with a permitting defect doesn't eliminate his requirement to obtain a permit. So the defect is that there was no permit for the things that were, the defense and those things that were there. And even if he purchased it that way, now what he did is purchase a defect that has to be remedied. The whole purpose of a permit is to ensure the safety and well-being of citizens and individuals. And just because you purchase it bad doesn't mean you're allowed to just leave it bad. And of course, we're not talking about fire and all those other things, but even fence, it's the same circumstance.
Very good. All right, well, I'm going to find the respondent in noncompliance, and I'm going to order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because that's how I do things around here. And my intent is to give you 2 or 3 weeks to straighten out the rental license and to straighten out the business tax receipt. The working without a permit, I guess you can try to do some homework to try to understand where the fence came and how it came to be. Unless there's a problem with the fence, well, that's all I'm going to say on that. I'll give you time to figure out what the history of the fence was too. And if need be, you can let me know what that is. So in any event, and if you want to challenge the city's determination that you should somehow be held liable for a predecessor's failure to obtain a permit, then you come here with whatever extenuating circumstances you may want to present, and I'll take that into consideration. But it looks as though the rental license and the business tax receipts are 2 things that will have to be for certain attended to, and this will give you time to figure that out.
Just to say something, the rental license that we applied for is in the system. It just said pending for inspection, and it's been there from last year.
Okay.
So it's,
well,
and actually
I would
expires
suggest you
tomorrow.
Just keep following it up to make sure it doesn't fall between any cracks. All I can ask you to do.
Yeah.
And as you knock off all these items, notify your inspector as far as where you stand.
And we will.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 13, AJT Capital Group LLC. Anyone here for the respondent?
Zoom call.
Pardon? Yes, sir. If you would state your name, please.
Andrew Tyke.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
I do.
I find the respondent in non-compliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should it take for the respondent to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
City thinks you ought to be able to have this worked out by August 2, 2023. What say you to that?
Well, I didn't get this notice till last night. I have already filled out my application. They had the incorrect mailing address for me. I updated that on the property appraiser already as well, so it wouldn't happen again. But my main concern is if the inspection is required and then repairs are needed, will I have time for all of this before August 2nd? I'll pay the fee and get the application in. I just don't know about the, if anything is required beyond
Why
that.
don't you get started and then we'll go from there.
Oh yeah, I'm already started.
Okay.
I've got
And
it.
if it turns out that as part of this process, there's additional work that's going to have to be done that you reasonably anticipate will go beyond August 2, 2023, you let your inspector know that, and if y'all can't work it out between yourselves, then you ask to be put back on my agenda.
That works for me. That's the only variable, the unknown, that I'm kind of worried about. But I've already started everything else. So
Very good. All right. Good luck to you.
thank you.
Okay. Did I do everything I needed to do on that one?
Found him in non-compliance.
And ordered him to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case 14, Oregon LLC. Yes, sir. If you would state your name and be sworn.
Yes, Daniel Weinshanker.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And what is your affiliation with Oregon LLC?
I'm an agent representative of the company.
You got authority to speak on their behalf?
Yes.
Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
I find the respondent in non-compliance. Madam Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
City seems to think you ought to have everything taken care of by August 2. What say you to that?
Yes, I agree.
All right, based upon the agreement of the parties, I'll order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 15, Mohammed Abdullah Al-Zabah. Anyone here on behalf of the respondent? What say the city?
Good morning, Inspector Bostwick, city credentials on file. Well, this case was field generated, opened on March 15th of 2023, overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on April 18, property was posted. Compliance was due by May 19th of 23. Last day of re-inspection was July 10th. Result, non-compliance, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of a respondent based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 16, Issam Hamad. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This case was field generated, opened on April 13th of 2023, overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on May 1st of 2023. Property was posted. Compliance was due by May 11th of 23. Last day of reinspection was July 10th. Result, non-compliance, no contact from the owner. Staff finding on non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 17, Abdullah F.N. Al-Khatami. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
This case was field generated, opened on March 14, 2023, overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was on March. Property was posted. Compliance was due by April 20th of 23. Last day of reinspection was July 10th of 23. On result, non-compliance, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 18, Robert and Susie Owens. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was field generated, opened on April 20th of 23, overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on May 11th of 2023. Property was posted. Compliance was due by May 22nd of 23. Last day of reinspection was July 10th of 23. Result, non-compliance, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
All right, based upon our inspector's testimony, noting the absence of the respondent, and having viewed the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. All right, let me take a case out of order, case number 39. Jacqueline Manning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you would state your name and be sworn.
Roger Washington.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And your affiliation with Jacqueline Manning?
I got power of attorney of the property.
Okay, I have here for a progress report, permanent compliance date. What's the progress report?
The general contractor sent the email on the 27th to the insurance company, and he said that they have like at least 30 days to get back with him if they're going to accept his offer and everything. I have that right here if you want to see it.
All right, you can make a copy of that and leave it with the city.
You can have it. I got it in the email.
And what does that do for us?
Well, we have to wait to see if the insurance company and the bank is going to accept the proposal on what it's going to cost to fix it, and then he can start. So we're in the wait right now. And he said that they could take up to 30 days to approve.
Mr. McKelJ, if I may.
Yes.
If you remember, there were some bricks as part of that wall that fell the last time, and you had requested that he remove those bricks. So the bricks have been removed, and now it's now begins the fight with the insurance company.
All right, so what is the city prepared to do here?
Well, we wish to set a compliance date for September.
All All right, the city's proposing a September 6, 2023 compliance date. What say you to that?
I guess I can just come back in and see where we are.
Well, I guess it falls into the it's as good as any while you try to figure it out.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, so I understand we're stabbing around in the dark because you're somewhere between bank and insurance company land.
Correct.
So all I would beg of you is to keep your inspector posted as to what goes on along the way. Because if we reconvene in September and I find out nothing's happened, nothing's been done, and nothing's been changed, you know, then we're gonna be a little less gracious.
All right.
All right, I will order the
You say
respondent to come into
September
compliance.
6th?
I will order the compliance, I will order the respondent to come into compliance by September 6, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Again, stay in touch with your inspector.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck to you.
Have a good one.
The meeting date is 12.
September 12th?
He'll talk to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
All right, let's resume with case 19, Thomas B. and Esther B. Lawton.
All right, this case was field generated, opened on May 5th of 2023, overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on May 17th of 23, property was posted. Compliance was due by May 28th of 2023. Last day of reinspection was July 10th of 23, result non-compliance. I've been in contact with the owner, a few phone calls. Staff requested finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 20, William Jones. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was field generated, opened on April 20th of 2023. Vacant lot, has trash and debris, outside storage, overgrown vegetation. First notification was on May 11th of 2023. Property was posted. Compliance was due by May 22nd. Last day of reinspection, July 10th. Result non-compliance, no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I find and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case 22, Abdullah F.N. Al-Khatami. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, some tremendous progress was made. If you go to another picture, you'll be able to see it. They started to clear it. There's another picture in there as of yesterday, right there. So I haven't had no contact with the owner, but I would just like to give him an opportunity to finish up. So I'd like to amend to the next cutoff.
Based upon the testimony of our inspector, noting the absence of the respondent, I will amend our current order of non-compliance to allow the respondent to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 23, Lock and Cop Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, received no contact from the owner. No progress was made as to the removal of the vehicles or the surfacing. The only thing they did was put up this blue tarp on the fencing. So staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a cap of $15,000.
Noting the absence of respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I am finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing July 6, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is brought into compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 24, Crystal LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since last month's hearing, no progress was made, no contact from the owner. I did receive a phone call from an attorney representing the owner, wanted to know what was this about. I explained that to her. Still no progress on the property. So staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing July 6, 2023, and the fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until such time as the property is brought into compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case 25, Alice M. Younger. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, no progress or contact from the owner. No progress. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing July 6, 2023, and the fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until such time as the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 26, S. David Shaw and Lily Mae Shaw. Anyone here for the respondent?
All right, Mr. McKelvey, this is the lot with the shed. All right, the paperwork from the city has been completed. Okay, so now they have emailed it over to Volusia County for Volusia County to make final determination. So I would like to amend to the September cutoff to give them whatever time they need to make their decision.
Very good. All right, and do we know why the respondent's not here today? He's usually attended these things.
I'm not sure, sir. I haven't spoken to him.
Okay, noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony, I will amend our current amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until September 6, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 27, Pro Development USA LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm
Your
sorry,
Honor.
I have somebody here. Yes, sir, if
Yes.
you would state your name and be sworn.
Yes, Daniel Castillo. Yes, that's right.
I'm sorry, your last name again?
Daniel Castillo.
And your affiliation with Pro Development USA?
I was hired to fix the property, to put the property in compliance. I'm a GC here at the Miami area.
All right. This matter says imposition fine, life safety by July 5. Let's hear from our inspector.
All right, since the last hearing, the life safety issues have been dealt with, except for in one room in which the resident refused to allow a smoke detector even with me on site.
Okay, so what do we do about that?
The eviction has been filed for all remaining residents, and they are moving forward with that.
Does that include our one obstinate resident who wouldn't let you in?
Yes, unfortunately. No, he let me in. He just would not allow for the installation of a smoke detector.
Okay.
Vehemently.
Vehemently.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what's the next step in the process?
All right, currently they're working with an engineer to get drawings completed so that they can pull permits to get this work done. So what I would like to request is that we amend this to the September hearing for a progress report.
All right, Mr. Castillo, the city acknowledges that you have some things in the works right now, but a lot more to do, and is proposing we have a progress report on September 12th. What say you to that?
Yeah, that's okay, Your Honor.
Very
We
good.
will-
Okay, then I will schedule this matter. Have we determined a compliance date yet? I assume not.
No, not yet.
All right. Then I will schedule this matter for a hearing on September 12th of 2023 for a progress report and possibly the determination of a compliance date. But in any event, we will see you on September 12th and keep moving forward, please.
Yes, sir. Thank
Good
you,
luck
Your
to
Honor.
you.
Thank you, Inspector. Thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 30, Ocean Winds Condo Association. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, we have had contact and progress. A permit was issued and work has begun to rectify the situation. It should be completed in September, so I would like to amend the October cutoff.
Okay. Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's report, I will go ahead and the photographs presented. I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until October 4, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 31, George T. Caffery. Anyone here for the respondent?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Excuse me, I have a hard hearing.
State your name and be sworn.
Oh, George T. Caffery.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, I have this matter as here for the imposition of a fine. So what say the city?
Good afternoon. Well, good morning. John Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. Since the last hearing, all of the issues have been addressed except for the seat and required rental license. That inspection is scheduled for today. So I'd like to amend this case to the next cutoff.
Okay, the city says a lot of this work has been done, but you've still got a few details to take care of. Sounds like they're already in the works. He's proposing extending your cutoff till August 2. I assume you don't have a problem with that.
Whatever the inspector says, I'll keep one.
All right, very good. Then I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 32, Leonardo A. Mossi. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
John Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. Since the last hearing, there's been one call from this property owner. Excuse me, there has been no progress on obtaining the permit for the staircase. The city is asking for the imposition of a fine of $1,000 per day to be capped at 15.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony and the photos presented, I'm finding the respondent the sum of $200 per day commencing July 6, 2023 and continuing each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 34, Andre Rondeau and Odette Peralt and Enos LLC. Anyone here for the respondent?
My name is Judy Krug.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
This matter is here for the imposition of a fine. What say the city?
Since the last hearing, there has been contact with the new property owner via email. The roof has been permitted. The work is progressing on the roof. The other work is still not complete. There has been multiple visits to the property, the last one being yesterday. The property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for the imposition of a fine of $250 per day to be capped at 15.
Okay, I see we have the same respondent on the next case too. These cases are separate?
Separate cases, same owner,
Okay.
2 separate structures.
All right, so what has this respondent not done that's got your ire?
The entire interior of the property is in disrepair. Since the case has been open, there have been multiple visits to the property. The last visit of yesterday shows more work being.
You're speaking to the next case, right?
No, I'm speaking about 506 right now.
And that's the interior? Okay.
Right, he's asking. Ask me what else.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what you cited.
Yes, the roof is being worked on, currently being installed. The damaged lattice still remains. Broken windows, damaged screens still remain.
What say the respondent?
So I got the permit for roof 506. Now the roofer when they are start work now, and then the 209 roofer we are under review. The permit is under review. The window and the stucco and the stuff we still need under review, but I need more information. So my contractor will do that. Every time they.
Hang on 1 second.
Mhm.
Let's focus on 506.
Okay.
So what's going on right now? The roof is being worked on?
Roofing, I got a permit. Last time you asked me to get the.
All right, so you have a permit for the roof work.
Yes. And then we apply for the
Refresh
window.
my memory. When did you buy this property?
End of May.
Of this year?
Yes. Only 1 month.
So you've only owned the property since May?
End of May. May 28, I think.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
After conferring with the department manager, we like to change our request to amend this case.
To amend it.
Amend the case, correct, to the August cutoff.
To the what now?
To the August cutoff to give her more time.
Okay. All right. So right now you have the roof in the works.
Yes. Now
What
it's
else?
working.
What else have you gotten started on?
Oh my gosh.
Talking
I
about
did,
506 now.
Yes. In the back there is a trash something where, right? I have my worker go there to clean up the trash, and then I order the crush shell to make that slope to easy to connect to two property. So that's what we done this last week.
Okay.
So it's not like this anymore.
All right, I understand that.
Uh-huh.
I'm hearing from our inspector that there's a lot of work to be done on the interior. Where do you
Interior, actually,
Where do you stand on that?
interior, before I show the violation letter to my GC, he said this small repair, it doesn't need require the permits. So I needed to know the work, needed to do by pest control, because this tenant told me.
Okay, well,
something.
not to put you on the spot, what are the
So-
interior issues that are giving you heartache?
As of yesterday, the interior of more than one of those units, the entire flooring has been ripped up to the
No, not the
down to the dirt, down to the dirt on the ground. Her explanation for this was that the exterminator needed more access to the interior to treat for termites.
Yeah, because the wall, I didn't know, as the owner, I didn't know this is the structure. I need to open, we only open a few sections, the wall, because the pest control company said you open the wall and they start this spray, because it's old house. And then there is a termite fire station, so we need a spray. I not all entire, just a part of the floor. I needed to know what's the wood saturation, and then the wall, we just open a few sections. That's it. And then the tenants just call Mr. John Stinson all the time, and call policemen for the people work there. They just don't want to, even me, they call me, I'm trespass to my property. So I just so difficult there. They just, I hope to get a little bit of support from Mr. John
You're
Stinson.
going to get all the support in the world just as long as you keep moving forward in
Yeah.
good faith. Don't
I
worry
try my
about it.
best to get this fixed up, you know. It's just so
First
difficult.
off, I'm tickled pink that something's happening to this eyesore. So, there you
Yeah.
go. In any event. All right, so. The roof's being worked on.
Yes.
The exterminator's going through the place.
What's it?
The pest exterminator.
Possibly, yeah. We just needed to open the one and spray
understand
suddenly.
all
yes,
that.
That's what we are doing now. Because that's a lot of we needed to spray inside the wall and the outside on the floor, everything. So that's what we are doing now.
And I assume you're going to get to the exterior staining, the lattice work, and what have you after the roof is on.
Yes, after roof one, actually we already applied for permits for window, replace the old window and replace the, I want to stucco to tear off this cedar land and put wear on it and put stucco to make it nicer. So now we just, they need us to submit yesterday and the last week, Friday, they need us to go to get the wall section drawing. So my GC will get there today or tomorrow. That's the status.
Okay, what does this respondent have to do at this property that I'm not seeing on this notice of violation? I'm just trying to get a feel for the scope of the work, because I assume it's extensive. I assume there's a bit of a language barrier. I assume a lot of things. So what is required of the, and it also sounds like the respondent's trying to do a few things that she may not even be required to do. And I don't want that slowing down coming into compliance if that's avoidable, although I can't very well criticize her for improving her property. But what needs to be done that I may not be aware of just by looking at this notice of violation?
Well, she's already advised that the interior still needs to be addressed. She's already
Yeah, I need
floors and walls, obviously. Windows need to be replaced or repaired. She needs screens installed or repaired.
Okay.
And the lattice, which is going around the bottom of the
She's aware of that?
the structure.
Yeah, I know that. We
Okay.
had to eat.
She should be able to.
Okay, I'm sorry, what is your name?
My name is Jean Kruger.
Jean Kruger?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Kruger? Okay. Ms. what?
Kruger, K-R-U-G.
K-R-U-T?
U-G, G in George, G.
Krug?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't talk for a minute.
Okay.
Let's listen to him. Then I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to tell him not to talk, although I don't think that'll be a problem.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. You were telling me,
The 506, yes, the interior we've already spoken about. The windows, the screens, and the lattice, and
okay,
and she should be good.
all right. Okay, well, it sounds like y'all are on the same page.
Yes, yes. But now I have so much difficulty with this current tenants, you know. They, a little bit since I go there, every worker go there, they call the policeman, they call Mr. Johnson and Stinson. I said, what's wrong with that? They said, this worker not respect them, give them attitude or something, or the, and even do the landscaping, they said by the chance dump in their driveway. But I apologize because before we arranged to this side, but because a drive was too narrow, so they dumped it. I apologize. I said I have my worker to remove as soon as possible. They call policemen, they call Mr. Stinson all the time. And that make me feel like, and in the someday, also the roofer guy, the tenant told me, I can't, only can work from Saturday to Monday. He said he doesn't work, you cannot work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I have roofer guy to go there. And then they still say that, 8 o'clock, she's sleeping, the people start working. All the time negative and complaining. it's so hard. I just want to get the
Okay,
support.
well, let me
Even
assure-
me, I cannot get to the access to my property now.
Okay, let me assure you that we are accustomed to dealing with tenants, and we're also occasionally accustomed to dealing with difficult tenants. Unfortunately for you, the tenants are your problem, not ours.
Yeah,
But we certainly take that into consideration.
thank you.
So try not to have a heart attack over it.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right, so that having been said, I've probably gotten us all lost now. So what were we suggesting? Amending to August
Amending.
2nd
Yes, sir.
or beyond?
Let's go with August 2nd.
Okay. All right, I'm going to amend our current order of noncompliance to allow you to come into compliance by August 2, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
I don't understand. So it's now the permit, they take the 2 weeks to get approved.
Okay? I am going to do this to keep you moving forward, all right?
Okay.
Now, if you do what you need to do and keep your inspector informed as to what's going on,
Yeah.
we will take into consideration whatever delays you encounter along the way. But in the meantime, I want to keep the pressure on you, to keep the pressure on your workers
Yeah.
to get the job done, okay?
Yeah, every day want to work, these people just, and also I keep email to update what I have done, I will do for the property, always communication with this, Mr.
Okay.
John Stenson.
All right.
I guess now one tenant is under the eviction, but everything take time, and then the permit, they need 2 weeks now, it's just, and then come back, need more information, like I have to contact GC to, GC very busy, I have 10 projects.
Okay, well,
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you right now, you bought a difficult property.
Yeah, I feel like a regret.
Okay, and I commend you for taking that on. I don't know personally that I ever would have done it. But in any event, all that having been said, we will work our way through it. I'm going to keep the pressure on you, you're going to keep the pressure on your workers, and ultimately we'll get the job done.
Yeah, I need a little bit of support from Mr. Stenson.
Mr. Stenson
Yeah, because these
appreciates
people-
everything you do, I can assure
Yeah, I
you.
appreciate it very much. These
All right.
people, they just gave me, threaten me, everything. When I go there, they said, we'll call Mr. Stenson, you something, no permit or something. The contractor has a permit, they authorize the worker there. I monitor my property. They just cannot let me go there. I go there, she said, she called policeman on me to trespass my property. I thought, this is just ridiculous, absurd, these people, I never met people like this. I have so many property, never met people like this. It's just,
Well, look at it as a new experience.
oh my gosh, so hard.
Okay. All right, let's talk about 209 Oak Ridge.
So 209, I try to get a
Excuse
permit.
me. Let's let Mr. Stenson get us
Sorry,
started.
sorry.
Maybe that'll expedite it.
Yes.
Okay, this matter's here for the imposition of a fine.
This is basically the same situation as the last case.
Okay?
We'd like to amend this case also to the August cutoff. There was life safety issues. They have been addressed.
Okay.
And it
We
was-
have tenant issues over here too?
Yeah, that lady is crazy, tattoo everywhere.
So you
And
have
then
a
she's-
crazy lady in each
Oh
building?
my gosh, they don't work, they just complaining. My worker just step there a little bit, drop the roof right there. I said, I don't do work right there, but when I purchase material, I more two house I purchase at the same time, they deliver at the same time, right?
Okay, do you have all the permits you need for the work that has to be done at 209, or are you
Not
waiting
yet,
on
under
permits?
review, wait
Pardon?
and permits, under review.
Under review.
Yeah, the permits under review. I constantly call the permit department. They said they take time. I said, how long we have to wait? They said usually is 2 weeks, but maybe less. But I keep every day. I check every day. So now it's just the 209 is under review roof. But the first roof finish, I also apply for the window. I will replace the whole window because the window really is very old. This 100
Okay.
years house. So I just do my best to fix up as soon as possible because also this is very a lot of money there, right? You understand? But it's just I hope the tenants cooperate with me, but they just complaining. You know, every worker go there, they just quarrel, argue, and fight with everyone.
Okay, how many units do you have in 209?
292,
And how many units are in the other building?
506, 3.
Okay. All right, so are you proposing again amending to August 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and amend our previous order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Okay, I understand you have a lot of work to do. I understand you have a lot of work to do, and you obviously have some difficult clients. Okay, but all that having been said, this is you and your business, so work your way through it. As long as you are making a good faith effort to bring these properties into compliance, then we will accommodate you as best we can.
Thank you.
We are familiar with tenants. We are familiar with difficult tenants. I'm not going to pass judgment on who's being difficult or who's not being difficult. That's my job. But we do understand the realities when it comes to the world of construction.
Yeah.
All right, so that, and with regard to these two properties, for those property owners that go above and beyond the minimal they're asked to do, we take that into consideration too.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you that to think about. All right, so as it stands on both of them, you are now supposed to be in compliance by August 2, 2023. I've heard you tell me that you have applications pending and you have reviews going on. I understand all of that. So as we continue on, keep Mr. Stenson informed as to where you stand, particularly with regard to anything that's holding you up from getting in there and doing work. And that includes griping about the tenants.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, this so, yeah.
Okay, good luck to you.
Understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Case number 37, Daytona Lands 1. Not seeing a respondent. What say the city?
Okay. Inspector Jean-Baptiste, this case is, the demo is ongoing. In fact, as we speak right now, the demo is happening. So as such, we would like to amend to the next cutoff, please. I've had contact with the property manager. It's a vacant property that needed to be demo. And as you can see, I took this picture first thing this morning. The demo is ongoing, so we just need to give them more time.
All right, based upon our inspector's report, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 38, Michael A. and Barbara M. Thrower. Anyone here for the respondent? Yes, sir.
That's me.
Please state your name
Michael Thrower?
and be sworn by our secretary.
Do you swear or
Yes.
affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from our inspector.
Since last hearing, I've had several conversations, meetings with Mr. Thrower. The property is not occupied at this time. Progress, as you can see, based on the pictures that were taken as last week and as early as this morning, he is efforting to clean the property. He has done substantial work in making sure everything is cleared out. He just needs a little bit more time. As such, staff is requesting to amend to the next cutoff, please.
City is proposing to extend your deadline to August 2. What say, Mr. Thrower?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Very
I'll
good.
take care of it, Your Honor.
All right, then I will amend our current order to allow the respondent till August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And JB.
Thank you.
Okay, case number 43, GDAC Associates. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent? What say the city?
Since last hearing, there has been contact. Business is occupied. There has been progress. The permit is in place. And I have been in contact with the property owner, the business owner, as well as the sign company. So the city would like to amend to the next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's report, I will amend our current amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 45, Pinkas and Ava Mamane. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last hearing, there has been contact. Business is occupied and there has been progress. We are just waiting for the sign blank to be put in, so we're requesting amend to the next cutoff.
Based upon our inspector's report and the photographs presented, I will amend our amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case 46, Stefan Lee. All right, folks, if you would please state your names and be sworn.
Neville Kaiser.
Fish Kaiser. Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And Mr. Calderon's handed was a power of attorney that authorizes from Stephen Lee, authorizing Neville Kaiser as representative, durable power of attorney for real estate sale. That would be sufficient for me. I'll make that part of the record.
What is okay?
That's how I'll make that part of the file.
Okay, thank you.
So the result of all this to date is what? That Mr. Kaiser has authority to speak on behalf of the owner, or that Mr. Kaiser is the owner?
Yeah, Mr. Kaiser has authority to speak on behalf of the owner.
Okay. All right. That having been said, the matter is here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from our inspector.
Since last hearing, there has been contact. The business has been occupied, and there has been marginal progress. The staff is requesting a one-time, $250 no BT fine and a $100 per day fine to the cap of $25,000.
And what was he supposed to have done by now, physically?
Physically, all of the commercial recycled vehicles need to be removed or have been, and they have been rotated. I've been watching this every 2 or 3 days, and the vehicles literally change. Right now, there's very few. There's a bus, and I believe that's about it at this point, as of yesterday. The ownership of the contact and documents for ownership for the Kaiser Realty have not been verified or registered with the clerk of the court. So I don't know if this document does give him the ability to take care of that property or make decisions. Contact with All Country Truck Sales, Mr. Sumi, has not had a BT, and that sign has just recently been removed that shows up on the front of that last picture. but he has been doing business for quite some time without a BT. No contact with the owner of record, Stefan, even though, and we have also sent a certified letter to a verified address in Germany on June 27 of 23. We have not heard back yet. The commercial trash and debris, unlicensed vehicles, junk vehicles, salvage vehicles, storage is still there. The wrong sign or the tarp has been removed. There's no BT and no verified change of ownership with the clerk of the court.
Okay, do we still have a hole in the exterior wall?
No, that has been repaired.
How about fading metal roofing?
That has been repaired as well.
Do we have overgrown landscape?
Yes,
Do we have trash and debris?
yes.
Do we have damaged, unlicensed, and wrecked vehicles?
Minimal at the moment, yes.
Minimal. Does that mean yes or no?
Yes,
Do we have damaged fencing?
yes,
And we know they haven't obtained a business tax receipt.
correct.
Okay. All right.
The tenant, can I speak now, Your Honor?
Just a second.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Kaiser, do we have a hole in the exterior wall?
No, we don't, Your
Do we
Honor.
have fading metal roofing?
No, you don't, Your
Do we
Honor.
have overgrown landscaping?
Yes, you do.
Do we have trash and debris?
Yes, we do.
Okay, do we have damaged, unlicensed, and wrecked vehicles?
No, we don't, Your Honor. The tenant is moving them at this point.
Do we have damaged fencing?
No, we don't. We put a fence in place of it.
Pardon?
We put a gate in place of the fence that was damaged.
Okay, and we know we don't have the business tax receipt.
The tenants are moved out. They don't need it.
Tenants have moved out.
Correct. So the
That's why you
debris,
needed the business tax receipt?
correct. It was
Okay,
the
well, what are
tenants
your
that needed it.
intentions with the property? You're not gonna rent it
I'm
out?
gonna re-rent it once they get all their vehicles out. We'll clear out the rest of the trash that's around and overgrown debris, and get another tenant in, or either we'll open back up the business.
So as it stands, you don't have a tenant?
We don't have a tenant now. He's just
But
getting
you
the rest
still got
of,
some of the tenants' junk around?
it's getting moved out. I give them to the 20th of this month to get it all off the property.
Moved out. Okay. And then, so, once the tenant gets his stuff off your property, which you're telling me should happen by the 20th,
Correct.
what's left for you to do?
The overgrown debris and what is little small cleanup around the trash on the ground or whatever.
So if I give you another extension until August 2, there's no way this stuff won't be done.
Correct, it'll be done. There's no way it won't be done. It will be done.
Okay. You know, the city wants me to fine you now. Say, yeah, I heard that.
Well, yeah.
Well, all right. This tenant is gone for certain,
He's gone for certain.
so I'm not gonna be here in August hearing this tenant still creating problems.
My word, you won't hear.
And before you lease this property out to somebody else, you're going to have it fully in compliance,
My word, you will.
including a business tax receipt if need be.
Correct. Before they even sign the agreement, they're gonna get the business tax receipt.
Okay. All right, then I'm gonna amend our current order of, the amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till August 2, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Please contact Mr. Alderman and let me know every bit of progress you make along the way,
I will.
so he'll know that.
I'll do it.
Okay. Now, come August 2, if this ain't taken care of, we're gonna have problems.
We have it taken care of.
Take it you understand.
I understand, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to lien reviews. Lien review number 1, Nivra Consulting and Investment Group LLC, 520 South Martin Luther King Boulevard. Do I have anybody here on behalf of the lien review applicant? Yes, sir.
Hello, how are you doing? How you doing today?
And your name?
Dr. Harvin.
Dr. Harvin, are you also an attorney?
Not practicing attorney, no.
Okay. All right, then if you would please be sworn by our secretary.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, first off, before I jump into this, have the parties discussed any kind of an amicable resolution of this?
We have. He was offered a reduction to $7,500.
Okay. And I take it that wasn't accepted.
We never heard back if he was going to accept it or not.
Okay. All right, Dr. Harvin, what are your extenuating circumstances that I should take into consideration in granting any relief to this fine?
Okay. Well, first, there was not any constructive notice. Okay.
What?
No constructive notice. Weren't aware of anything in regards to anything that was on the property during COVID in 2020. Okay. Also during that time, I also have pictures here. Oh, let me just back up. In regards to getting back, I called every day of this week, and apparently everyone in the office was on vacation this week past. So that's incorrect as far as me not getting back to anyone as far as communication. But this incident right here is an old case. It's 20 during COVID when everything pretty much the whole world shut down during that time. I was unaware, or anyone else was unaware of any violations on the property during that time. I have pictures here of which I can submit, which is from February of 2020 when there's nothing at all on the property. Okay. Here's also, can I submit the pictures I've already
Sure.
Okay. Give me a moment here. So on the first one, by the date. There's nothing been doctored or anything of that nature. It's been printed out from the mobile phone. Okay. So you'll see on there before June of 2020. You'll see that the lot is clear, it's properly maintained, and everything else. And again, may I remind you, this is of COVID when everything shut down April 17th. During the time of COVID, I had some health situations where I was in the hospital fighting for my life a few times. And we have seen death as far as some of the members. Okay. But nevertheless, the address that I was notified was from, we didn't receive any notification of any violations at all. Okay, had we received anything, you would have seen me during that time frame, or a representative or an attorney representing the company. But again, we didn't receive any notification until last month, okay, of that there was something encumbering the property. Okay. So also in 2021, in January of 2021, I had a local pastor in the area remove anything that was on the property. Okay. I have submitted the pictures that show that as well, that in January of 2021, the property was in compliance during that time. Coincidentally, I find out that that's the same time that you or someone else from the magistrate had put in an order during that time. Okay, but nevertheless, I have a health situation where I receive extremely minimal per month. This is an undue hardship, and the removal of the property of the debris in 2020, we had to pay to have that removed. So there's no cost for the city at all as far as the removal of any property or debris on the property during that time for this case. So what we're asking is for that to be waived in due of the circumstances. As you see on the pictures that I submitted, also I have the pictures of me in the hospital, as well as during the time I was going through a hardship of being homeless. I went ahead and submitted documentation earlier to the Daytona Beach Housing Authority. I do have that information here. If you'd like to see it, I can go ahead and submit it, and it will show the information that I'm referring to. This is with a government agency locally, okay, as well as, if you like, I can also submit to you the amount that I am receiving monthly. But nevertheless, during this time right here in 2020, this is COVID when everything shut down and people were scared to go out, any interaction with anyone. But as you can see from the pictures, everything was in compliance back in 2021, when that I know of. Okay. We didn't know anything about contacting a code enforcement person to come out because they have been so proactive in the area where, like I said, we never had any notice that we had to contact them about anything. Like I said, it was just random that something was on the property that we cleaned up, and found out last month, a couple weeks ago, that there was something, a lien actually put on the property. Prior to that, there was no knowledge. I believe there was a phone call in the end of 2022 in regards to any liens. I think it was something that was small, but we were notified that we had to contact on another matter, but nothing in regards to this case.
What say the city?
Okay, the case was opened June 24th of 2020. This is on a main thoroughfare of Midtown. I never had any contact. Proper notice was given.
What did notice consist of?
Posting, well, initially a certified letter to the address that was on the Volusia County Property Appraiser.
What address was that?
Let's see.
I've seen a P.O. box and a 251 Valencia Avenue.
If I can, and to address the addresses, what he stated to us, to me in the meeting, was that when we sent the notices to the physical address, he was no longer there, and everything was going to his P.O. box. And it came back unclaimed.
As well. They were strategic based on the lot within traffic, as you can see from the convenience store. The logs are placed Stated to me
Doc-
that
Doctor.
stated to me that for the it wasn't a case of place there. There was also local during this time during the posting as well. And as a matter of fact, the property is back into non-compliance today. I went by there this morning. You could zoom in. So it's just a constant issue. It needs to be maintained. I went to the property multiple times from June to January, and the property was, after the lien was imposed, January 12th of 2021, I have pictures proving that it was still in non-compliance after the lien was imposed, with pictures right there.
Excuse me, Mr. Magistrate. The only way, with all due respect, that someone would know the purpose and something was strategically put is if that person actually put them there. Okay? I'm unaware of anything being strategically put. Sarah went ahead and said it was strategically put. I'm not sure how she knows that, but during COVID, she had mentioned my father. My father has a wife that has health issues. He was unaware of,
How is it you're so unaware with what's going on with your property?
well, I was in a hospital,
You were in a hospital in August of 2020.
well, multiple times throughout.
Well, the only thing you've shown me is a photograph
Yes.
in August of 2020. And the order that you're here to gripe about didn't go into effect until January 25 of 2021.
Yes.
And then it ran
No, in 2020.
for 150 days to accumulate a $15,000 fine at a relatively moderate amount of $100 per day.
No, the picture that I submitted of January 21st of 2020, it shows that the property was in compliance with no logs or anything on there. I submitted that to you. That's January 21st of 2021. Okay, so it wasn't running a long time after the order was set.
Did you call for an inspection?
I didn't know anything about calling for inspection.
You
I
didn't know
kn-
anything about calling for an
No.
inspection?
No, I never had to call for an inspection in my life on this property or any other property.
Is this
The
the photograph
inspectors,
of January 21, 2021 that you're telling me indicates you were in compliance?
yes, there's no logs.
Doesn't look like compliance to me.
There's no logs on that property.
No, it just looks like a crappily maintained lot
No, but
on a thoroughfare,
on the what? I'm sorry.
on a thoroughfare.
Yes, but the logs that are in question on this case, they have been they were removed. Okay, and it was properly maintained. I submitted before that time frame, and you see that the property lot was clear.
What is the other fee imposed on the property that you complain about?
It was someone cut the grass. That's the other,
Somebody cut the grass on your property?
yes. Maybe I didn't understand you.
No, that's fine. That's what I'm asking.
I can clarify if I believe he's probably talking about a nuisance removal. Is that what you're calling? Or the demolition, or was it demolition? So there is a demolition fee, but are we talking about lot clearance fee?
And the lot clearance.
No, referring to,
Okay, and lot clearance would have been because the city had saw the property as a nuisance based upon overgrowth or something to that effect, and went out and cut it themselves. And we had a program of reoccurring, and again, giving notification, treating property lots as reoccurring nuisance and going out and cutting them. But we were trying to avoid, as I think it's been brought up before, a circumstance where someone just simply laid back and waited for us to cut their lot. And that's what brings us more to these types of circumstances where we could not continue on our costs to go out repeatedly and cut lots. But by cutting the lot, that's something that's not within the purview of the jurisdiction of the code board. Or it's a separate, independent, actual cost to the city expense.
I beg to interrupt briefly. With this case that we're addressing, the removal of the of the logs, they were done in a timely fashion. It wasn't carried over for years or anything of that nature of many days. Okay, I have someone local that normally goes out to cut the grass, and also to, like I said, to make sure that the property is in compliance. And for this case of the logs and everything that is being shown, those were removed in a timely fashion before the end of the month. And I have submitted the paperwork, the pictures of the photos.
And what the violation was outside storage as well as overgrowth of the lot.
Outside. Yeah, so as you see in these pictures, the logs, they were removed in January of 2021. And I submitted the pictures as proof, as I'm seeing the
I haven't
pictures of.
seen or heard anything that would cause me to cut you any slack at all.
Okay. Again.
Now, I will admit it's an ignorant fine, and I consider it due to an ignorant lack of attention, because this is something that a borrowed lawnmower and an edger used once in a while could have taken care of before it got to this point. You would almost have to go out of your way to get this circumstance and this property to this condition to merit this fine.
Yeah, that was in 2020, and again, during that time, I don't reside locally. Okay, I resided in Miami during that time. Okay, and I had someone to look at.
Are you thinking that's going to be an excuse? You were too busy to take care of properties that you own that were outside your purview?
No. I had health issues. I also have, if you like, I could submit a letter from disability, as well as other corroborating evidence showing that I had disability during that time and also currently. But that is what we're working with. I only receive less than $1,000 a month currently. I have documentation of that. So this fine is something that is unbearable and is not even really justified, because I submitted the proof of before and also after the date where you had imposed the fine during that time and during COVID. Okay, I submitted the picture that shows that the property was clear of any of the major things here, and that's what I'm seeing here. And then also the other pictures afterwards are doing 2021 as well, showing that the property was in compliance with nothing on the property. Perfectly cut grass, because I have someone locally to
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. Having taken all of this into consideration, I will consider reducing the amount of the fine and the lien to the sum of $3,500, subject to being paid within 90 days. I'm not going to waive it, and I do think the fine and the lien are justified. I've taken into consideration your health issues. I've taken into consideration your income issues. I've taken into consideration your disability issues. So I have reduced the amount of the fine to what I think is a fair sum given the circumstances, giving you the benefit of the doubt with regard to all the considerations you've brought up, with regard to the financial ramifications and where you currently stand, and the severity of the violation. So with that, I will reduce the fine to the sum of $3,500, subject to being paid within 90 days. If it's not paid within 90 days, then it remains as it is. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Thank you again.
Here, Tony.
Will I receive something in writing stating such?
There's our secretary, she'll tell you what you can expect.
I'll email you the invoice.
I'm sorry?
I'll email you the invoice once I get it generated.
And let's make certain we have a reliable address, because I don't want to hear any mention of failure of communication.
You need copies? Okay. Okay.
Lien Review 2, 5T Wealth Partners LP, 549 Park Drive. Anyone here for 5T Wealth Partners LP? I can wait a minute if you need a few minutes.
Mr. McKelger, the respondents for this petitioners for these lien reviews pulled them, and they say they'll refile it at a later date.
So all the ones that are for 549 Park Drive?
Correct.
Because that's number 2, 3, 4, and number 5.
Yes.
Yep. I'll have to email you.
That's 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Right, when I have it
Yes.
generated.
Okay, that brings us to Lien Review 6, Dwayne C. Campo, 411 South Ridgewood Avenue. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would please state your name and be sworn. Gentlemen?
Dwayne Campo.
Max Garcia.
Rod Cook.
Raise your right hands. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, give me one moment. Okay, gentlemen, it's your lien review request. You gonna be the spokesman?
Yes, sir.
All right,
I'm the property owner, and these are witnesses of mine.
very good. All right, tell me what happened.
I guess I'll just start. It has really just been a bit of a miscommunication between myself and Mr. Cligg. I guess as far as the want and outcome of the Ridgewood area, I just want to say that we're all on the same page of it wanting to be rebuilt, and I guess more alluring for everybody to want to be in the area, because I know that's I think a specific concern of everybody here. I guess I could go through the chronological aspects of where the miscommunication was.
I read your information. Is this the property?
Yes, sir.
Is this what it looks like presently? There we go. Is that what it looks like now?
Yes. And I do actually, I have, and I tried to email them, and I actually brought a thumb drive to give you even more recent pictures, and I do have them on my cell phone if you'd like them. But there have been, I guess, extensive updates done to the property. I know the lien specifically says dirt and grime, peeling paint, and untreated porch. And once again, from the miscommunication, I thought that was treated back when I was noticed to be in court in May of 2022. But even aside from that, there's been a lot more repairs done and updates to the property. And I can certainly go over those. I can certainly go over the chronological aspect of the miscommunication, and just sort of see what information you would like, really.
Okay, somebody give me a Reader's Digest version as to how this cluster, you know what happened. Why don't you take a stab at it?
Yes, sir. This was a case where it was field generated for dirt and grime. It's right by Ridgewood, a couple of houses down from City Hall. We were doing an operation of checking each house, and this is one of the three that was cited. Had dirt and grime on the front porch, was unfinished. I got with Mr. Campo a couple times. My records show that he did not attend the May 10th hearing of 2022. I called him numerous times to tell him what has to be done and when it needs to be done. And as you see, it came into compliance, but this is a property picture of it yesterday. Kind of like they did it fast, but at least it's better than it was. And like I said, I don't think there was any communication problem with me and him. I mean, like I said, I got his phone number here, 589 phone number. I called him, tried to help him out. But over 2 years, this property's been sitting like that on Ridgewood. And I don't know what else I could have did to help him on it, but.
Okay, what say you?
As far as the communication issues, maybe we recollect it differently, but I never received any notices for the non-compliance until there was actually a posted, I guess, sheet of paper on my door, because I didn't live at the property to receive those. And then once I did receive them, I called Officer Cligg, and I got it in. I thought I got it into compliance from the dirt and grime, peeling paint, untreated porch, like pressure washing, cleaning up things that were maybe like on the porch, and then I guess there was like there was rotted wood on the porch, so I got that taken care of. And then I called Officer Cligg, and at the time he was in Orlando, and this was before the May scheduled hearing, because I wanted to get it in compliance. And this is where the massive miscommunication came into play. It said, okay, I'll see that it's within compliance and I'll get it taken care of. And then from that day forward, there was no contact, there was no communication. And maybe this is not correct in my judgment, but I assumed that from that conversation and from doing all the things that were stated in the posting that was on my door, that was in compliance. My next door neighbor, Max, was buying a home at about that same time. And we had even talked and discussed, that he had gotten a notice as well. And I actually talked with Officer Cligg, and he sort of had the same situation happen. And then fast forward to about a year later, around this time, I'm talking to Max, and he says, well, hey, I have a lien on my house. And I said, oh my gosh, how'd that happen? And then I went through my process. I checked online to see if there was a lien on my property, and then there was. And then immediately after that, I found out probably, I want to say end of May, so about a year later, and got in touch with Officer Cligg. I believe Mr. Jones was there as well, and I said, hey, let's get this resolved and let's get it back into compliance. And immediately that day, Mr. Cligg actually came out to my property, and I was painting the roof of the deck for aesthetic reasons. And once again, a miscommunication. He came by and said, oh, since he was still painting, it's not in compliance. And I never really got that communication. So then, once again, I thought that I was in compliance, and I guess I had to set a meeting with Kim, and I said, Kim, hey, can I set a meeting to be at the next special magistrate? And she said, well, you're still not in compliance. So I tried to contact Officer Cligg again, and this is maybe a bit of a technical thing. The phone number that's listed on the website is an old phone number. So I had been calling that number to try to get in touch with him, and I should have written the name down. I forget. I think it went to like a Miss Rodriguez maybe, and I assumed that maybe it was like his secretary. So I left messages and never got returned phone calls, but eventually got in touch with Officer Cligg, got his correct phone number, got the, I guess, painted the front portion of the property. He then again said it's not up to standard, and then I painted it again, and then he said, okay, we're within compliance. So that's a bit of a shorter version actually, because there's a little bit more involved. I guess within the year's time frame. I have a full-time job with the Department of Transportation, and I work on the property during the weekends. I drive out, or I don't drive out. I work out into land, and I'm an essential employee as well. So if there's a hurricane that hits, I have to be available 24/7. So that sort of took some time away from making updates on the property. The dirt and grime, peeling paint, and untreated porch, it's not, it's not much work, but just having that as an added burden made it a little bit more difficult to keep making updates on the property. But essentially, I mean, like I said, we're on the same page, but it's just been a lot of miscommunication of thinking I was in compliance and then really realizing I wasn't in compliance, and then contacting me that I wasn't, and so on and so forth. And I used to live at the property, but I don't live at the property anymore. So a lot of the notices that I received, I never received up until the one that was actually posted on my door. And I know that it says specific items that needed to be brought to compliance, but I have a laundry list of things that I've done additionally on top of the things that you guys had requested.
This is work you'd done at the house during the time that your fine was running?
Say that again?
This was work that you were doing at your house during the time the fine was running?
Both, really.
What kind of improvements?
I've updated all the toilets in the property. Kitchen faucets were replaced. There was like green lattice that was on the base there that I replaced with white lattice. I installed solar lights for added security right in the front of the property. I got a new roof installed on the property, I think end of 2021. That's not within that time frame, but this, I guess, is exterior and interior paint, removal of sort of dilapidated items that were in the property. I installed a Wi-Fi doorbell. I installed all electronic keypads on every single doorbell for added security. I installed a backyard floodlight. I pressure washed the entire exterior along with painting it. As I said, I replaced the rotting deck boards. The deck is actually the cedar color there. It's actually like a concrete non-slip paint. It's not a huge deal, but I guess, you know, it's
So would you replace the deck?
not necessary. There was pieces of wood that were rotted out in the like the handicap walkway there, and I replaced that and then painted it. I don't know if you can see in the pictures, but there's like Victorian or like Tiffany privacy glass that I had put up. I'd installed 7 brand new ceiling fans within the property. There's 4 full bathrooms in the property. I've updated 2 of the 4 full bathrooms. There's been tree maintenance. I've sanded and tried to restore some of the hardwood floors. And I also own the lot next to the property. So I upkeep that lot as well. So I do all the exterior maintenance. I mean, it's just.
Gentlemen, what do you got to add?
I just want to say, I've known Dwayne for about a year and a half from the time I purchased the house on May of 22. When I saw his house compared to mine, he had already done a lot of work to the porch, the front of the house. It looked really nice. I used to tell him, my house looks horrible compared to yours. Yours looks like beautiful. I didn't even know that he had any type of discrepancies on the house. I worked on my house for about a year and a half, approximately a year and a half. And every time on the weekends, or maybe once during the week, I would see Dwayne there at least three times a week, working on his house, painting it. The place looked nice compared to mine. I finally brought my house up to par because it looked like a mess. It was horrible. And I have to say, when I bought, I thought Dwayne's house was already fixed on the outside. And ever since I started, he was working and we were pushing each other, work on the house to make the place look nice because it was horrible. But I just want to say his house was better than mine as far as him having started working before me. I just want to say that he's a hard worker, has a job, and at the same time he tried to improve his house and the area, and I'm sure to me it looks beautiful. He needs a little bit more work.
Let me just ask you this. Would you say it'd be fair to say he went above and beyond fixing dirt and grime, peeling paint, and an untreated porch?
Definitely, Your Honor.
That's all I want to hear. All right, what do you got to add?
I'm Dwayne's neighbor. I live at 419 South Ridgewood, right next to Dwayne. And he definitely has put in Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays almost every week. And basically, I think he's doing a good job. He keeps the lawn mowed, and what maintenance he has done on the house. He's even, and I've mentioned a couple times that if he would rent out the house, I'd be interested in renting maybe the little part of the house that would be a studio apartment. So I think he's doing an excellent job as his neighbor.
Would you agree that the quantum of work that he put into this house went above and beyond dirt and grime, peeling paint, and an untreated porch?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, you consider it an asset to your neighborhood?
Yes.
You consider an asset to your neighborhood? You?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, well, it looks to me as though there may have been some miscommunication. It looks like there was a good faith effort to come into compliance. Timing probably didn't work out all that well, but all things considered, I'm going to go ahead and order that we waive the fine and the lien.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Spread the word, improve the neighborhood.
I agree.
Yes, that's what it's
I
all
agree.
about. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, do we have any other business to be brought before the special magistrate?
Have none.
We're adjourned.